And with worrying development, ladies and gentlemen, in another major crackdown on the Islamic State modules operating on Indian soil, the NIA arrested a 19-year-old student following extensive searches at his home and rented accommodation in Jharkhand and Uttar Pradesh. This came a day after the agency arrested 5 suspects of a possible ISIS module from Bengaluru, and that too across the city. Multiple locations where the arrests were conducted. The agency filed an FIR against the youth, an alleged member of the proscribed terrorist organization. The NIA has recovered several electronic devices and incriminating documents from the accused Faizan Ansari at his residence. This is not the only arrest that was made. The NIA arrested another alleged ISI operator from Tamil Nadu after conducting raids in Kerala and in Tamil Nadu. We break down the details of both these cases. First up, the module that was busted in Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand. According to the NIA, Faizan had conspired along with his associates and other unknown persons to support Islamic State activities in India. And this was done in a step-by-step process. Step 1 is disseminate ISIS propaganda in India. Step 2, support and push ISIS activities in India. Step 3, radicalize neo-converts. Step 4, strengthen ISIS cadre base in India. Step 5, plot terror attacks in India. These were the 5 steps, or like a flow, that he was working on just at the age of 19. Remember that. Now, moving on to the module that was busted in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, the NIA claims to have thwarted potential attacks on places of worship and leaders from specific communities. The first charge, involved in reconnaissance activities. Charge 2, conducted recce of the prominent places. Charge 3, places of worship were on the target. Charge 4, community leaders in Kerala were on target. Charge 5, raised funds to promote ISIS activities. The 6th charge, the aim was to spread terror, create communal divide. Pathik Ritpain now joins us with more details and also his perspective on this. Former DGP Jharkhand, Nirmal Kaurji, is also with us. Nirmal Kaurji, it's a worrying trend. Educated young individuals, be it on the gaming app or with these ISIS modules, they seem to be working on a targeted, blueprint or a step-by-step process. They're also targeting neo-converts, trying to radicalize neo-converts, and they seem to be engaging actively with handlers operating outside the soil. Truly.
Through the dark web, I think there's some evil kind of fascination with this thing. And like Jharkhand, as we know, is the heart of these activities. Jharkhand is one place which is so small a state, and yet so entrenched in these kind of terrorist activities. Earlier also, Yasin Malik lived in Ranchi for at least many years without being caught. And the Pakur belt, the Pakur area of Jharkhand, that is very close to Bangladesh border. And all kinds of, all the terrorist outfits of Bangladesh are operating in Jharkhand. And this boy who's an engineering student in Aligarh, his parents live in Lohardaga, and father is a BSNL contractual employee. And somehow he got trapped. And he's ensnared, and he's now converting others and radicalizing others. And so much of incriminating material has been found from him. So that means he's been there a few years. It's not that he's just a new convert or newly converted to ISIS or their ideology. He's been there quite a while, and he's converting others and radicalizing others. The worrying trend is that we catch once in a while one person. But this is only tip of the iceberg. There's a whole lot out there, which we are not able to fish out. And the society is continuing getting radicalized. That's a very worrying trend, and especially so in states like Jharkhand and all. If you see the Santhal Pargana belt and that Pakur area, the population, the demography is also changing so fast because of these infiltrators. Infiltrators are marrying local women. They are creating tension in the social fabric.
Yeah.
The social fabric is going for a sex. The communal harmony is gone. The society, mainly the tribals living there. Recently, we had a case in which a girl, Rabia, from the sub-primitive tribes was entrapped and then cut into about 30-40 pieces and thrown in the jungle. That man had, he had a wife already and married her, some kind of a local love jihad.
CNN News18 also did a story with the Santhals. We did a story with the Santhals, covered the Pakur belt, and we realized that there was that something was not right on ground. There was this entire infiltration.
The issue is that Santhal Pargana and Chota Nagpur, these are 2 major areas, and different tribes inhabit that in Jharkhand. Santhal Pargana, there is the Santhal Tenancy Act. Santhal Pargana Tenancy Act. In Chota Nagpur, you have Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act. Under that act, a tribal land cannot be bought by anyone who's a non-tribal. So what these infiltrators are doing, these Rohingyas, Bangladeshis that come in, they marry the local women and these tribal girls and all, and then they buy properties in their names, and their children inherit it, and they because the tribal property is going very cheap, and only a tribal can buy a tribal property. So to that end, they marry the local women and then entrap them.
Yeah, they continue to retain the tribal identity from the and that's what came across, that they continue to retain the tribal identity. There the conversion does not take place on paper, and it does not happen because they want to use the tribal identity for the state benefits and also to buy land, etc. But these activities are a worrying trend. How do you crack down? Because there is cover fire which is at the ready. The other aspect is somebody is radicalized but not committed a crime yet. So how do you punish them, Pathikrit? So these are two aspects. Along with this constant presence of handlers who are teaching them the same modus. The modules may be based pan-India, but their modus operandi, there is a clear pattern.
In sync with what ISIS had, thought about decentralizing terrorism when they lost out in Syria. They asked their people to go back to individual countries, spread terrorism. So from lone wolf attack, it has become small groups operating in isolation, in unison, and then doing the needful. And we see a pattern across Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, many other states, and including Jharkhand. See, first of all, it also vindicates that terrorism, poverty and illiteracy has nothing to do with terrorism. I mean, you have very, very literate, educated people joining terrorism. It has a lot to do with the fundamentals of what is being taught to radicalized people. So unless we codify religions in terms of what can be preached and what cannot be preached, we have a huge problem. Thirdly, I still don't understand why we do not have a national border policy. Unless we have a national border policy, unless we treat the Indo-Nepal border and Indo-Bangladesh border as strictly as we do with the Pakistani border, we would continue to have these problems because of infiltration. We are seeing the same thing happening in Manipur also. There's a huge issue of infiltration across Myanmar and in Manipur also. Third, and a very important thing is that if demography keeps on changing, unfortunately, we still don't consider that as a national security threat. There was a very interesting statement which was made by one of the political heads of United Arab Emirates recently. He said that in future, radical Islamists, in context to Europe, he said that in future, radical Islamists will come out from Europe and not from Middle East because of political correctness of the leadership in their inability to take strong decisions. I think so far as states of India are concerned, especially the states, it is this political correctness which is becoming suicidal. And because law and order continues to be a state subject, most of the time you find that the states are reluctant. We have seen in case of Bangalore, there was reluctance to even call them terrorists, terror accused, who were arrested a few days back.
Right.
Unfortunate thing, Anand, is this. Ma'am said it very rightly, it's the tip of the iceberg, so many getting radicalized. The day this guy will be taken to court, you would see a battery of lawyers fighting for him. So you have an institutional mechanism to defend what they do. Unless we understand the dimensions of radicalization and what we are fighting, unless we understand that part, we have glorified for a long time. In the 70s and 80s, lot of educated youth joined Naxalism, destroyed their future and that of the country because Naxalism was glorified. Here, we have demonized those who actually arrest terrorists by calling them Islamophobic. I mean, Muslim majority countries.
Well, that's a narrative thing that needs to be fought. I've got another piece of news coming through, Pathikrit, so interrupting you.